morning, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire, and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Ripple's XRP, looking at the MACDs, the moving averages, and the day's support, resistance, and pivot levels. It is Sunday, the 24th of January. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, looking at the hourly candlesticks, bearish start to the morning. Going to need to see Bitcoin move through the pivot at 32,364 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 33,289. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break through the 23.6% fib at 33,008. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that 23.6% fib and first major resistance level to pin Bitcoin back. In the event of an extended rally, could see Bitcoin test resistance at 35,000 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 34,479. Failure to move through the pivot level would bring the first major support level at 31,174 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should avoid sub 30,000 levels. The second major support level at 30,250 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a slight widening of the bearish histogram supporting this early morning's pullback. On the EMA, seeing the 50 pullback marginally from the 100 and the 200, also suggesting further downside ahead through the morning. So key through the early part of the day, move through the pivot at 32,364, break through the 23.6% fib at 33,008 to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, slightly bearish start to the day here. Going to need to see Ethereum move through the pivot at 1234 to take a run at the first major resistance level, saying at 1272. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from 1250 levels, however. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 1272 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Ethereum test resistance 1350 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 1310. Failure to move through the pivot would bring the first major support level sitting at 1197 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ethereum should avoid sub 1100 levels. We've got the second major support level at 1157 and the 23.6% fib at 1119 to limit the downside. Looking at the MACD, we've got a slight widening of the bearish histogram supporting this early morning fall. On the EMA, nothing conclusive, however, with the 50 holding its ground against the 100 and the 200. So key through the early part of the day would be for Ethereum to move back through the pivot at 1234 and break out from 1250 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, also bearish this morning. Going to need to see Litecoin move through the pivot at 138.8 to take a run at the first major resistance level, saying at 142.5. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break back through to 140s. So barring an extended crypto rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and Saturday's high at 143.54 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Litecoin test the second major resistance level at 147.3 and the 23.6% fib at 148 before any pullback. Failure to move through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 134 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Litecoin should steer clear of sub 130s. Second major support level at 130.2 should limit the downside. Looking at the MACDs, nothing conclusive there, but still bearish, so supporting this early morning fall. On the EMA, we're also seeing the 50 hold its ground against the 100 and the 200, which is also inconclusive. So key through the early part of the day would be for Litecoin to break through the pivot at 138.8 and back through to 140 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and support levels will be in play. Moving across to Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, bearish start to the day. Going to need to Ripple's XRP move through the pivot 0.2738 to take a run at the first major resistance level, saying at 0.2818. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break back through to 0.28 levels. Barring an extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and yesterday's high at 0.28385 to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, should see Ripple's XRP test the second major resistance level at 0.2918 before any pullback. Failure to move through the pivot would bring the first major support level at 0.2638 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Ripple's XRP should steer clear of the second major support level at 0.2559. Looking at the MACDs, the histograms continue to support a bearish morning ahead, but we've seen the pinch there, so a move is imminent, so need to keep an eye on that through the early part of the day. On the EMAs, the 50 has pulled back marginally from the 100 and the 200, supporting this early morning fall. So key through the early part of the day, move through the pivot at 0.2738 and back through to 0.28 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Failures to do that, and support levels will be in play.